along with me. Breaking news, it's a thrill. Live chat, got time to kill. XP, we're breaking the mold. Special guests, stories untold. Unfiltered truth, no hidden clues. No suit and tie, it's all for you. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is Gary. On Next News Network, we never vary. On YouTube, we're streaming live. On Rumble, the chat is alive. On X, we're trending high. And mainstream media is dead, and we are why. Millions of followers, hear us out. Seen all over the world, there's no doubt. We are the future, shining bright. Join the raw feed every night. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is Gary. On Next News Network, we never vary.
What's going on, guys? It's Tom McCullagh here in the Next News Network studio. I'm filling in for Gary Franchi, who's currently en route to Texas for Ron Paul's 90th birthday bash. And yes, we'll be streaming that historic celebration live this Saturday, so mark your calendars. What sets our show apart from the corporate media propaganda machine is that we don't just talk at you, we talk with you. Your live chat reactions, your real-time thoughts on the day's chaos, that's what makes Raw Feed different. So fire up those keyboards and let's get those reactions flowing. To our ex-viewers, I'm talking to you guys, repost this stream to your followers right now. Text this link to your friends and family. The algorithm can't stop person-to-person sharing. So we're streaming live to millions worldwide on YouTube, plus our freedom fighters on Rumble and X. If you're not following us on all of those platforms, you guys are missing critical intel when big tech inevitably tries to silence us again. And hey, we'll be reading your super chats and Rumble rants between segments and featuring them on screen for the world to see. So send them in right now, even before we dive into today's explosive topics. Your voice matters, and we're going to amplify it. Want to support independent journalism that actually tells the truth? Hit those donation links in the description. Give, Send, Go, or PayPal, it's your choice. Every dollar helps us fight the information war. And if you want to wear your support proudly, check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've got the Alligator Alcatraz series that'll make liberals cry, President Otto Pen designs that celebrate real leadership, and our American Badass collection that shows exactly where you stand. So guys, rock that Next News gear and let the world know you are awake. Plus, our YouTube channel membership gives you guys exclusive perks at every level, special chat room acknowledgement so everyone knows you're a supporter, behind-the-scenes content the public never sees, direct access to the Next News team, and our members-only Discord, which is running 24/7. So guys, join up, become part of the inner circle fighting for truth. And speaking of amplification, on this day in 1945, America dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, a moment that changed warfare forever. Today, we're witnessing another kind of nuclear option, the deep state's desperation to destroy anyone who threatens their power. From gang violence in D.C. to nuclear reactors on the moon, from welding torches in Kansas to communist mayors in New York, the establishment is deploying every single weapon in their arsenal. And just like Truman had to make an impossible choice to end World War II, President Trump faces his own nuclear decision. Does he let D.C. burn under criminal rule, or does he federalize and restore order? A young DOGE hero named Big Balls, we all love that guy, just found out what happens when good men try to stop evil in Biden's America. He got beaten bloody by a dozen thugs while saving an innocent woman. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got proof that Obama ordered the Russia hoax from the Oval Office. We've got China racing to plant nukes on the moon. We've got everyday Americans abandoning worthless degrees for welding torches and six-figure careers. And we've got the left completely losing their minds, from Bill Nye demanding Republican bans to socialist podcasters taking over America's biggest city. Today's show connects all the dots they don't want you to see, from blood on D.C. streets to classified documents in Washington offices, from nuclear ambitions in space to blue blue-collar revolution in our heartland. It's all connected, it's all coordinated, and it's all coming to a head. So we have 5 explosive topics tonight, 5 moments that define where America stands, and 5 chances for you to sound off in the chat and tell the world what you guys really think. This is the Raw Feed, where truth meets power and power gets exposed. We're going to go ahead and dive right in, guys. All right, so let's see who's coming in today. Where we got here? Looks like we got our Boyd. Hey, Boyd, what's up? I know I saw Miss Pothead Kenny and Mr. Pothead Kenny. How you guys doing today? And I was looking for Redneck News, and he's my bestie. We go flathead fishing all the time, so hopefully he's listening in. We've got Sabrina. Overeducated is here. Gorian Lady. We got all sorts of good folks in. You guys are coming in today. I can't read some of those comments that are on the screen, but happy to see you too, Boyd. And it's going to be fun. I'm going to screw up a few times, guys. I'm probably going to trip over some words. That's filling in for Gary. He's got some big shoes to fill. So, Brian, if you're ready, I think we can get into topic 1. What do you think? All right, we're going to do topic 1, big balls, bleeds for justice in D.C. And we're going to hit our first trivia question of the night, so you guys get ready on this one. It goes with 1980s vigilante inspired the movie Death Wish after stopping New York City muggers. Was it A, Bernie Brooklyn Bomber Getz, B, Charles Subway Superman Bronson, or Bernie Big Balls Madoff, or D, Rudy Red Beret Giuliani? What do you guys think? Hit the comments. Go ahead and hit the buttons and let us know. We'll get you the answer after the segment. Cool. All right, guys. Tom McCullagh here, White House correspondent, holding down the fort while Gary races to Ron Paul's birthday celebration this weekend. And yes, we'll be streaming that historic celebration live this Saturday. And folks, they called him Big Balls for a reason, but even heroes bleed. In the heart of our nation's capital, while politicians preach safety from behind bulletproof glass, one man stood alone against a dozen animals. And what happened next will make your blood boil. This isn't just another mugging gone wrong. This is the moment everything changes, because when the very people trying to save America get beaten bloody in broad daylight, when teenagers commit attempted murder without consequence, when our capital becomes a war zone, someone has to act. And the man who will, he's already making threats. Keep watching. All right, guys, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job saving. But here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing. You're losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it. And the dollar's value, it keeps slipping. That's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their saving. And one company that makes it easy, Noble Gold Investments. You can buy gold or silver coins or bars and have them shipped to your home or stored securely. It's a smart way to convert cash into something that actually holds value. Noble Gold is fair, transparent, and they don't pressure you. Just solid information and real options. So go ahead and visit nextnewsgold.com today. All right. So Edward Korenstein doesn't look like your typical government employee. Known to millions as Big Balls, this young Doge warrior just proved why Elon Musk handpicked him for the team. But first, let's see the man himself explain his newfound fame to Jesse Waters to get Elon's legendary response. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys.
Who's Big Balls?
It's me.
That should be obvious. Why do they call you Big Balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
Okay.
Well, people on LinkedIn take themselves like super seriously, and they're pretty adverse to risk. And I was like, well, I want to be neither of those things. So I said it, and honestly, I didn't even think anyone would notice.
Yeah. So what do you
LinkedIn
do?
is so cringe.
What does Big Balls do?
Right now, I'm working on some payment computer stuff. So one of our initiatives is to root out fraud and waste. And to do that, we started looking at the payment computers. And as mentioned earlier, like there is no accounting of what payments actually go to in the payment computer. So like you look at a specific line item, like $20 million. And you're like, okay, well, what is this money going to? And for the majority of payment systems, it's like, well, we don't really know. And
Yeah, they're like, what? That would be the response.
Is this the most basic responses?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the most common response.
All right, that's right. The man who helps eliminate government waste just eliminated a gang assault on an innocent woman. But here's what happened when he tried. Watch how President Trump responded when he learned one of his own got jumped by what he calls a merciless thugs terrorizing our Capitol. This isn't just anger. This is a promise of action that's got D.C. politicians running scared.
By the way, I have to say that somebody from DOGE was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
And that's right. Either they straighten out or we federalize. And that's not a suggestion. That's an ultimatum from the leader of the free world. Fox News covered the shocking attack extensively with their own Lucas Tomlinson reporting from the scene where Big Balls took his beating. Watch how even mainstream media can't ignore the violence that's consuming Biden's D.C.
In other news, President Trump is threatening a federal takeover of D.C. after police say a former DOGE employee was brutally beaten in the nation's capital.
Truly unbelievable. Lucas Thomason joins us live in Washington. Lucas, these type of attacks have been happening for years now.
They sure have, Lawrence. Good morning also to Ainsley and Griff. For those eating breakfast, the image that we just showed you and we're about to show you again is tough to watch. The 19-year-old former DOGE staffer known as Big Balls was beaten by a violent mob of minors in the nation's capital in a popular part of town, according to police. A 15-year-old man and a 15-year-old woman were arrested and charged with unarmed carjacking. The attack prompted President Trump to post, "Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, and shooting innocent citizens. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs." Trump warned if crime is not dealt with properly, he may be forced to take over.
So the details get worse. This exclusive Fox footage shows the aftermath and reveals the ages of the attackers. Some as young as 14. They were recruited into gang life while politicians debate pronouns, like usual.
Now, this summer, Edward Korestein, the former DOGE lieutenant known as Big Ball, spoke to our own Jesse Waters. Elon Musk reacting to the attack on his platform X, saying, quote, "A few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in D.C. A DOGE team member saw what was happening, ran to defend her, and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It is time to federalize D.C." Here's a look at those recent attacks this summer. Back in May, a House staffer was the victim of an armed carjacking in the Navy Yard next to Nats Park. In July last month, a congressional intern was murdered in a crossfire from a drive-by shooting. And now, Big Balls left bloodied after this attack. President Trump says he wants gang members over the age of 14 to be prosecuted as adults, guys.
So Jesse Waters did not hold back in his primetime coverage, calling Big Balls a hero and highlighting how this young man showed more courage than most D.C. officials combined. Watch this powerful tribute to American bravery.
Fox News alert, the infamous DOGE lieutenant Big Balls was just jumped in D.C. by up to a dozen gang members. Viewer warning, the image we're about to show you is bloody. Elon Musk says Edward Korestein, known as Big Balls, was assaulted after trying to stop a gang from assaulting a woman in her car. The woman's now safe, but Korestein is left with a concussion. The president reacted earlier today. Watch.
Somebody from DOGE was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Random attacks and robberies, nothing new in D.C. We've seen elected officials, government employees, even Biden's granddaughter become victims of the Capitol. If they don't secure the city, Trump will.
But not everyone's convinced this is just some random violence. Popular YouTuber D7 raises disturbing questions about timing, suggesting this attack might serve a darker purpose. His analysis will make you think twice about what's actually happening.
Now, we have Trump threatening to federalize and take over all of D.C. And I know there's going to be different thoughts and comments and all this on this stuff, but D.C. is its own district of Columbia where it's separated itself away from America by law, similar to what London is and what the Vatican is. Okay, they have their own laws, their own police station, all this stuff. And most people don't realize this, but what's happened is this kid named Big Balls that was on the Doge team working for Elon that caught all this attention. He was in DC somewhere and a lady was getting mugged or beat up and he tried to save her. And they beat the crap out of this kid. His name's Edward. They beat him up pretty good, left him bloody. And in response, Trump and Elon are calling to federalize the city. Some are saying, hold up. Is this some kind of staged event to get what you want? Do you know the ramifications of them coming in and just federalizing a city and just trying to take it over? There's a lot of laws and rules out there on the books to try to stop certain things from happening, but you have this home rule that is from like 1973 that stops Trump from doing things large scale, but he can call upon the police, the National Guard, all of them to mobilize to do these things, whatever he wants.
All right, next news family. Here's what they don't want you to understand. D.C. operates under different rules. The Home Rule Act of 1973 created a legal maze that lets crime flourish while tying federal hands. But Trump found the loophole. He can mobilize the National Guard, deploy federal resources, and essentially declare martial law if local government fails to protect citizens. I want you guys to think about it. A congressional intern murdered in crossfire. A House staffer carjacked at gunpoint near the Nationals Park. Biden's own granddaughter got robbed. And now a federal employee is beaten unconscious for doing the right thing? This isn't crime. It's literal warfare. The statistics paint an even darker picture. Carjackings up 300%. Juvenile crime through the roof. Gangs recruiting middle schoolers as soldiers. The nation's capital has become a failed state, and Big Balls just became the bloody proof that Trump needed to act. So what's really happening here? The establishment created this chaos. They defunded the police, coddled criminals, and turned D.C. into their personal Hunger Games arena where they live in gated compounds while regular Americans get terrorized. Big Balls disrupted their sick game by showing what real men do. They protect the innocent. Consequences be damned. Now, Trump has his catalyst. Federal takeover means new rules, new enforcement, real consequences, and no more catch and release. No more juvenile hall for attempted murders. No more treating the Capitol like a social experiment in criminal justice reform. The swamp creatures are panicking because they know what's coming. When Trump federalizes D.C., their protective bubble pops. Their donors can't buy them safety anymore. Their woke prosecutors can't protect their pet criminals, and justice returns to the system. So again, if you guys got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is coming up. So, this isn't just about one brave kid getting bloodied in D.C. This is about whether America has the guts to admit our capital has fallen to enemy forces. When gang members hunt federal employees for sport, when heroes bleed while politicians tweet, when our seat of government becomes a no-go zone, we're not watching crime statistics, we're watching conquest. Big Balls did what every American should do, defend the innocent, and his reward was a concussion and viral fame. But his sacrifice exposed the truth they desperately tried to hide. D.C. is a failed state run by failed leaders who prefer chaos to order because chaos keeps them in power. Big shock, guys. And here's my question. Should Trump federalize D.C. immediately or give local leaders one more chance? Yes or no? Sound off in the comments, guys. I want to hear it. And you guys want to support real journalism that calls out the corruption? Check out our merch shop, link below. Wear your defiance proudly. And again, this is Tom McCullagh, and the revolution will be televised. Don't forget. All right, guys. All right, so a lot of me in the chest. My first time doing a live read and a show for Gary. So am I doing terrible? I got to see those comments. We got overeducated. Oh, we got a super chat, guys. We need to fill that super chat bucket up here when Gary's gone. So we got Curio23 sent us $1.99. It says, what do lawyers wear to court? Lawsuits. I love the dad jokes. Keep them coming. My daughters are going to love those, as they're probably watching the show tonight. So let's bring it on out. All right. So you guys ready for the trivia answer from the last one? Let's see what we got here. So the answer... Did you guys get it right? Yeah, good job. There's a button for this. Hang on. The answer was A, Bernie Brooklyn Bomber. Goats Bernie Gouts shot 4 muggers on a New York City subway in 1984, becoming a controversial vigilante hero who inspired countless films. All right, guys, keep those super chats coming. Let's get that Alex Jones was right tip jar filled out for the day, and we'll get ready to get into topic 2. So we got a couple comments here. Thank you, Pothead Kenny. I love it. All right, guys, we're going to get to the second trivia question here now. So the topic 2 is Obama-Russia hoax order finally exposed. And the trivia question is, who exposed the Soviet spies and U.S. government during the 1950s Red Scare? Was it A, Joseph McCarthy, B, Ronald McDonald, C, Joseph Stalin's barber, or D, Captain McCarthyism? You guys let me know the answer in the comments, and we're going to check it out as soon as we're done with this next segment here. All right, Brian, I'm ready when you are. All right. Declassified intelligence just blew the lid off the biggest political scandal in American history. My name is Tom McCullagh. I'm here again, your White House correspondent, filling in while Gary heads to honor Ron Paul's 90 years of fighting for liberty. Join us for live coverage this Saturday. And what you're about to see will rewrite everything you thought you knew about Russiagate. Forget what CNN told you. They're fake news anyways. Forget Mueller's theater. The real conspiracy started in the Oval Office with a direct order from the most powerful man in America. Now we have the receipts, we have the dates, we have the names, and the woman who exposed it all. She's been on their hit list ever since. They surveilled her, harassed her, tried to destroy her, but truth has a funny way of surviving. Let's go ahead and keep watching, guys. So just like Obama's intelligence agencies cooked up false evidence to frame Trump, your body's collagen production gets sabotaged by time itself. By age 40, you've lost significant collagen, that vital protein making up a third of your skin. Without it, the visible evidence appears. Wrinkles, sagging, crow's feet. But here's a classified truth they don't want you knowing. You can fight back. Ageless Multi-Collagen delivers 5 types of collagen from 4 premium sources. Using hydrolyzed peptides, your body absorbs fast. No clumping, no odor, just results. And I've used it for years. The difference is undeniable. Every order helps feed hungry children through nokidhungry.org. So go ahead and get your 51% off at healthwithgary.com, plus free shipping, 60-day guarantee, and the 14 Foods for Amazing Skin guide. So guys, visit healthwithgary.com today. So, we're going to get into it. The smoking gun just dropped. DNI Tulsi Gabbard revealed her team of intelligence professionals from CIA, FBI, DIA, and NSA uncovered after months of digging through classified documents. Watch her expose the December 9th, 2016 Oval Office meeting that started it all. Check this out, guys.
Just as an overview, in total, what have you discovered that we didn't know before?
What really started this string of declassifications and releases of documents coming from different agencies, the most recent one, as of this recording, at least coming from Senate Judiciary Chairman Grassley with the declassified Durham Annex. What really kicked this all off was a result of months of work by a team that I have selected within my office, with intelligence professionals coming from the CIA, the FBI, the DIA, the NSA, from different elements within the intelligence community, really tasked with a very simple mission: finding the truth. And
about the Russia hoax?
Finding the truth in this case about focused on election integrity and specifically around this whole Russia hoax narrative that really consumed much of the 2016 campaign and certainly pretty much all 4 years of President Trump's first administration.
So that's right, guys. Obama didn't ask if Russia helped Trump. He ordered them to detail how. It's insane. The conclusion came first, the evidence second. But it gets worse. Gabbard's team discovered the exact language Obama used to corrupt the entire intelligence apparatus. And this next clip reveals how Clapper, Brennan, and Comey fulfilled their marching orders using intelligence Tulsi calls essentially trash. Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
And for months, they sought to find and dig up documents, emails, previous intelligence assessments, checking the sources that were listed in those assessments that really led to the first big release that we had that uncovered the truth about how President Obama ordered this January 2017 intelligence community assessment to be produced. And he directed this order in early December after President Trump had won the election. And
in an Oval Office meeting, December 9, 2016.
And the language that was used in providing those tasks to the intelligence community from then Obama's DNI James Clapper is very significant, because it doesn't ask the question, did Russia try to help Trump win this election? It was detail how Moscow tried to influence the election in favor of Donald Trump. So it presumes the conclusion and drives the conclusion that President Obama wanted to see. And that really kicked off what James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, and others fulfilled in this directive.
All right, guys, this was months of work by intelligence professionals from every major agency. And what did they find? A predetermined conclusion dictated from the top. Not an investigation, a frame job. And Alex Marlow just connected the dots the media won't even touch. Every single prosecution of Trump, including the Stormy Daniels case, traces back to this original hoax. And watch him explain how one big lie spawned 6 criminal cases. Check this out.
There were 6 key cases against Trump. He had to win all these cases. He didn't have to win them, but he'd at least survive them while he was running for president from a courthouse because of massive election interference that was controlled from the top, from the Joe Biden White House, blatantly illegal, needs to be investigated, and we need to start seeing some heads roll over this thing. However, no one can really even sort out the 6 cases in their head. Julie Kelly can, but most people can't do this. And I tried to write something so that people could actually understand the extent of the lawfare, the extent that is connected to the other hoaxes of our time. One of the things that I really wanted to highlight to you and the posse on the show today was the Stormy Daniels case, the one case that ended in convictions, criminal convictions for Trump, never should have happened. The reason why that case ended up in a conviction was because of the Russian collusion hoax. Michael Cohen was a key subject of the Russiagate investigation. The government was able to get access to his Gmail account, the Justice Department, and the special counsel from Robert Mueller's investigation. All of this started with the Russiagate hoax. If there is no Russiagate hoax, there is no Stormy Daniels conviction, which, by the way, we got to throw out all those convictions on that front. But the point is, no one understands the interconnectivity of all of the lawfare. It is from a superstructure. It's a massive apparatus. I explained the apparatus, who funds it, what they're doing now, how it's connected to the Boasbergs of the world. This is their only way to stop the MAGA agenda right now, and they're working 24/7 right now to do it.
And I want you guys to think about that. No Russia hoax, no Stormy conviction, no Mueller probe, no raids. Every single attack on Trump flows from that December 2016 meeting. But Trump wasn't their only target. Miranda Devine reveals the horrifying details of what they did to Tulsi Gabbard for daring to leave the Democrat plantation and speak the truth. And this will make your blood run cold. Check this out.
President Trump is not the only person in that group you just mentioned who was targeted by the deep state cabal. Kash Patel was, quite infamously. Tulsi Gabbard was, quite infamously.
Yes.
You just had an interview with her, actually, about that. To what extent do you think, having lived through that experience, has made them more dogged fighters on President Trump and the country's behalf?
Well, I mean, they understand at a visceral level what it means, what the toll that it takes to be targeted, to have your, all your bank accounts, to have your iCloud surveilled, to be, as in Tulsi Gabbard's case, placed on the Quiet Skies surveillance program by the TSA, where every time she went to an airport, she had a team of, agents watching her every move, searching her luggage, patting her down, spending hours searching through every nook and cranny of her luggage, even the lining of her suitcases, unrolling, unwrapping every item, including they did the same thing to her husband.
Man, surveilled bank accounts, hacked iCloud, placed on the terrorist watch list, hours of airport harassment, all for telling the truth about their lies. And remember, this whole operation had foreign help. Here's Hillary Clinton, in her own words, literally calling for China to interfere in our elections while accusing Republicans of Russian ties. You guys can't make this stuff up. Let's go ahead and check this out.
The only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right.
And why should Russia have all the fun? That's their literal mentality, guys. Accuse others of exactly what you're doing. And it's classic projection from the master manipulator herself. And all this, meanwhile, NBC scrambles to cover for their co-conspirators. Watch their pathetic attempt to gaslight America about grand jury investigations into Obama officials. This panic is delicious. Take a look.
Take us, Ken, exactly through what the Trump administration is trying to do here.
Well, that question can be answered on many levels, Chris. I think one thing that the Trump administration is trying to do is throw a bone to their supporters, many of whom believe legitimately in their hearts that people involved in the Biden and Obama administrations committed crimes and should be in prison. They believe that. There's no evidence to support that. And in fact, what's happening here is quite troubling. You know, it doesn't take a lot of predication to open a criminal investigation. That's really not the significance of this. To me, the significance is that the administration leaked it, almost issued a press release to Fox News. That's not supposed to happen. It's fine for grand juries to re-examine. In this case, this has been investigated ad infinitum, including by a special counsel appointed by Donald Trump. But it's not unheard of for people to take another look at a closed criminal investigation. What's unheard of is for that to be leaked. It's to embarrass people publicly. And also, just the fact of the investigation is going to cause people to have to pay legal fees, perhaps talk to FBI agents, perhaps appear before a grand jury, all of which, again, has been previously investigated by a special counsel, John Durham, appointed by Donald Trump. He looked exhaustively at all these issues, and it was very clear to everyone who watched that investigation that he would have charged anybody he thought violated the law, and he did not charge any of the main players. In fact, he didn't even address this whole issue of the intelligence community assessment on Russian interference in his final report, even though he looked very closely at that issue. So there's a lot of questions here about what's happening, and a lot of people are looking at this and saying this is a real distortion of the criminal justice system, Chris.
No evidence? Come on. We have the declassified documents. We have the dates. We have the orders. And we have Obama's signature on the directive to frame a duly elected president. So here's what really happened. Obama knew Trump would expose their corruption, so he weaponized the intelligence community before leaving office. He created the Russia narrative. He planted the evidence, launched the investigations, and then he sat back and watched the media run with it for years. They turned our intelligence agencies into the Democrat Party's private Stasi. The CIA, the FBI, and the NSA are all corrupted to serve political masters instead of protecting America. And when Tulsi Gabbard exposed it, they turned those same weapons on her. Think about that. The Durham investigation barely scratched the surface. Now we need real accountability. Every official who participated in this coup attempt must face justice. From Obama's Oval Office to Comey's FBI to Brennan's CIA, the conspiracy reached every single level of government. And this wasn't just incompetence. This was treason. They knew Trump was innocent. They knew Russia didn't hack the election. They knew the Steele dossier was garbage, but they pushed forward anyways because power mattered more than truth. And the establishment media, they were willing accomplices. Every breathless report about Russia collusion, every anonymous source, every leaked story, all coordinated to sell Obama's lie. They knew it was false and reported it anyways. And now the documents are declassified. The conspiracy, it's exposed. The question isn't whether they're guilty, it's whether anyone has the courage to prosecute them. Because if fabricating evidence to overthrow a president isn't a crime, then we absolutely do not have a republic anymore. So if you guys got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything. We're not talking about political dirty tricks or opposition research gone wrong. We're talking about a sitting president ordering intelligence agencies to manufacture evidence against his successor. That's not politics. That's a coup. Every impeachment, every indictment, every smear campaign against Trump traces back to that December 9th meeting. Obama signed the order. Clapper, Brennan, and Comey, they executed it. The media, they sold it. And they almost got away with it. But here's what terrifies them. The documents are out. The truth is spreading, and the very people they targeted, Trump, Tulsi, Cash, they now hold the power to expose it all. And they thought they buried the evidence. Instead, they buried themselves. So here's my question. Should Obama, Clinton, and their co-conspirators face criminal prosecution for the Russia hoax? Yes or no? Let your voice be heard in the comments down below. I prefer to stand with truth, so grab your next news gear from our shop below. And again, this is Tom McCullagh reminding you guys that justice delayed is not justice denied. All right. So that was fun, guys. What do you think? I can't believe they set all this stuff up. And imagine if Trump didn't win. Like, we would never know about any of this stuff. We wouldn't know how deep and how crazy this goes. It's kind of sickening watching this stuff even come out. So AJ Cruz sent a super chat, guys. We only have 2 super chats for the night. I can't let Gary outdo me on the first time here. So AJ Cruz said, "You are doing very well, and I am self-conscious, and I'm worried about not doing a good job for my buddy Gary." So I got Brian in the ear and Todd here, so everybody's keeping me in line. So, you guys ready for this trivia answer, huh? Let's check it out. So the answer was A. Joseph McCarthy, Senator Joe McCarthy exposed the communist infiltration in the 1950s. I got to hit the button to make it sound. Good job. So history called him paranoid until Soviet archives proved him right. All right, so let's see who's in the chat, guys. You got to share this. We need some more likes going on, everyone. I'm looking at it. Hey, Tony. Hey, End the Madness. Glad to see everybody coming through on that. So we're going to move into topic 3, and it's a blue collar boom. America picks up tools. And we got a trivia question for the night. And the trivia question is, which president created vocational education to build America's industrial might? Was the answer A, Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, B, Franklin Wheelchair Roosevelt, C, Eleanor not President Roosevelt, or D, Bullwinkle J. Moose Evelt? Tell me, guys, your answer in the comments below. I think we know the answer to that one, so let's go ahead and see how that comes out here at the end. All right, so they told you college was the only path to success, but guess what? They lied. My name's Tom McCullagh. I'm back with you, keeping the chair warm while Gary jets off to celebrate a true Patriot's milestone birthday. It's a historic event that you can watch live right here on Saturday. So listen closely, because what's happening in workshops and welding bays across America is nothing short of revolutionary. And while universities pump out gender study graduates with 6-figure debt, a new generation just discovered something beautiful. Their hands can build empires. The federal government just made a move that changes everything. Free money for real skills. And that's blowtorches instead of safe spaces, paychecks instead of protest signs. From Austin to upstate New York, from Girl Scouts to grown men, Americans are done begging for jobs. They are creating them. Go ahead and keep watching, guys. All right, so if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here's something that most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash can guarantee one thing. You're losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value, it keeps slipping. That's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. And one company that makes it easy, Noble Gold Investments. You can buy gold or silver coins or bars and have them shipped to your home or stored securely. It's a smart way to convert cash into something that actually holds value. Noble Gold is fair, transparent, and they don't pressure you. Just solid information and real options. So go ahead and visit nextnewsgold.com and get signed up, guys. All right, listen up. While professors preach pronouns, real Americans, we grab wrenches. While universities collapse under woke weight, trade schools expose with purpose. The federal government just cracked open Pell Grants for warriors who build with their hands, not loans, free money. For welders, plumbers, electricians, the forgotten sons of forgotten fathers who knew that sweat builds nations. Austin, Texas leads the charge, and watch how Skill Point Alliance transforms lives in weeks, not years. No safe spaces here, just sparks, sweat, and 6-figure futures. And this is what winning looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look.
More people can now get money from the federal government to help them pay for workforce training courses. The The expansion of Pell Grants came as part of the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. Our Jayla Washington shows us how it'll impact our area.
Students have been getting technician, plumbing, electrical, and manufacturing training at the Skill Point Alliance in Austin for more than 30 years.
We're looking for the key features.
But for the first time, getting more people on track to become certified might be a little easier.
As many of our students come from poverty, they are looking for an opportunity to get out of the situation that they're in.
There will now be extra financial help for workforce training like this. Eligible people can apply for Pell Grants, the largest federal aid grant program, which was before now reserved solely for undergraduate students.
But we can.
And it's expected to make a big impact on the Austin area job force.
There's about 10,000 workers needed per year, every single year, and we're only filling about 6,000 of those jobs collectively.
The Pell Grant expansion is something the Austin Community College is trying to spread the word about, while also reassuring its Pell Grant students that they will not be losing their financial aid.
There were no changes to the Pell Grant in terms of enrollment intensity, and I know a lot of our students had been worried about that.
In the meantime, workforce programs that are 8 to 14 weeks are expected to see enrollment spikes, according to Skill Point's CEO.
It's creating generational wealth is what we really are targeting to help our students to really make an impact.
Jayla Washington, KXAN News.
And this is one of the coolest things that the Trump administration has done. They're helping build generational wealth, not generational debt. 8 to 14 weeks from poverty to power. That's the promise, and that is the path. And look at these numbers, guys. 10,000 workers are needed yearly. Only 6,000 slots filled. You know what that means? Leverage. Power. The ability to name your price because you possess what they desperately need, and that's skill. But it gets better. Upstate New York, dawn breaks on young lions learning mechatronics. $23 to $30 an hour. First year, fresh out of high school. That's incredible. Watch these kings in training master the machines that run the world, guys. Check this out.
6:37 this morning, an Earn As You Learn apprenticeship program is now underway at Genesee Valley BOCES.
Seniors are being put through a 6-week boot camp that'll give them the tools they need to be equipped for the world of mechatronics and welding. Chris Lopez is live there this morning, finding out what the students are learning. Chris, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, $23 to $30 an hour is the range for anyone that is in their first year of being a mechatronist, I would say, which is pretty good. Fresh out of high school, 18 years old, you're making the big bucks like that. But first, you have to go through a boot camp, which means first you have to get through Mr. Rich Monroe's program here for the mechatronics. This program, how long is it, would you say?
How long does it last for this year?
Yes.
Well, it lasts 7 weeks. It's 6 weeks of training, but I have to take a week off in the middle to do a different camp that I do. But it's 6 weeks of training.
96 hours. So 6 weeks of training. Mechatronics is computer engineering. It involves a bunch of disciplines in there.
A bunch of stuff, yeah.
How do you decipher within those 6 weeks what they need to know versus what they're probably going to learn on the job and something you don't have to waste an hour on?
Well, it's all basics. I mean, right from the beginning, there's a lot of safety involved. These guys get certified with a 10-hour OSHA safety instruction for general industry and construction, so they have those options to take that, put that on their resume.
That is just so cool, guys. They get 96 hours of training, OSHA certification, and that's real credentials, not like participation trophies like most kids are used to getting now. These young men don't need trigger warnings. They pull triggers on nail guns and they build America. And Mr. Rich Monroe speaks truth. Basics, they matter. Safety first. Electrical theory, pneumatics, mechanical systems, the fundamentals that separate boys from men and victims from victors. So AC/DC trainers, multimeters, series circuits, this isn't abstract theory from tenured fools. This is a practical power, the kind that lights cities and moves mountains. Watch them work, no phones, no distractions, just focus. Let's go ahead and take a look.
But it starts with basics of safety and electrical, and learn a little bit about pneumatics, a little bit about mechanical, so that they can go out there and have the fundamental skills to be able to function in any of our applications.
And the students right now, we got them out bright and early. What are they working on right now? These are switchboards?
Well, these are trainers, and this is the thing they're working on is called an AC/DC trainer. So they're learning the fundamentals of AC and DC theory. Okay. So series parallel circuits, they're learning how to use multimeters. Right now, they're on a multimeter trainer. So they're learning how to test voltage, how to test current, how to put a current in series with a load to be able to understand how the meter works.
You need any type of experience to get into this program, any type of prerequisites? So some of these kids, fresh like me, don't know anything about this?
Well, it does help to have good math background.
Okay.
They should know some algebra and good reading skills. There's a lot of interpretation to learn technical language. So this is what I'm doing, is I'm testing their aptitude for the academics that are going to be involved in this trade.
And then when are they graduating from this program?
They'll be done the 21st of August.
21st of August. We're going to remain here throughout the morning, learning about the mechatronics program, going into the welding program and learning about that in the Fox Rochester hour, as well as ARC Rochester. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss that. Back to you guys in studio.
Very cool. These kids, they're making big bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to learn so much, too.
I know.
This is great.
Very nice. Good stuff, Chris. Thank you.
And it's so crazy. August 21st, they graduate, and August 22nd, they earn more than their philosophy professor. And that's the timeline of transformation. So down in Woodville, Texas, something beautiful blooms. Carmelo Castle, 18 years old, already working second-year tradesman level, first in Texas to pass the state plumbing exam straight from high school. And watch this young king claim his throne, guys. Check this out.
And a Woodville ISD program is paving the way for future plumbers. The high school's plumbing program gives kids hands-on experience, which prepares them for the real world. Carmelo Castle is the first graduate to meet all the criteria and to excel in the workforce. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato got to talk to him and the instructor, who says the district hopes this is really going to inspire others to join the program, right?
That's right, Jordan. The Woodville High School plumbing program is only 4 years old. This past May, they celebrated their first graduate and the first in Texas to pass the state exam straight out of a high school plumbing program and to go straight to work.
Push it hard, remember. It gave me a chance to actually step up in life.
At just 18 years old, Carmelo Castle is already working at a second-year tradesman level. It's all thanks to the training he received through Woodville High School's plumbing program.
The fact that I'm so young doing this stuff, I mean, you know, average teenagers are partying and stuff and all that. See, I had to actually be the separate one of the group.
Castle is the first graduate from the new plumbing program. He's also the first in Texas to finish a high school plumbing program and pass the state exam. Now he works for Local 68 Plumbing.
I was so used to it as soon as I went in to where it didn't really affect me.
That's so awesome to see, guys. It really is. And he said average teenagers have a hard time with interrogating. And that's his words, not mine. But Carmelo isn't average. He's exceptional because he chose tools over TikTok. And the numbers, they don't lie. Average plumber age, 43. Average apprentice, 37. We're watching an entire generation of craftsmen prepare to retire with no one to replace them. Crisis? It's an opportunity, guys. Check this out.
This is our shop area right here. It's a large shop. But we have this area here primarily for my class, which is the plumbing class.
John Bunker is the Woodville High School plumbing instructor. He says the program helps students get a head start on their careers with hands-on experience.
For them to be able to go through a class such as this and then qualify right away to be able to go and take their plumbing tradesman exam, and if they pass, they have a license in their pocket.
Bunker says the demand for plumbers is increasing in the Gulf Coast region.
The average age of licensed plumbers is 43, and the average age of apprentices is 37. So we need younger people coming into the workforce, or we're going to have some problems.
Castle says he's grateful for the program, and he believes there's value in taking a different path.
You can't really follow the same crowd all day and then knowing that you're not going to get anywhere.
Bunker says they expect 3 Woodville High School students to take the state plumbing exam this upcoming school year. In the studio, Spencer Plato, 12 News.
Great to see them finding success. Spencer, thank you.
All right, so 3 more students take their state exams this year, and 3 more warriors join the ranks. And that's 3 more reasons the establishment trembles. They hate seeing us do this stuff. And the daughters, and they're not sitting idle. Kansas City Girl Scouts were picking up welding torches. No fear, just fire. Watch these young queens conquer what soft men call dangerous. Let's check this out.
We know Girl Scouts have strong sales skills because we're all walking away with cookies. Thin Mints, Samoas, I want them all. But these Kansas City Scouts are also breaking out the welding torch.
I know that's right. It's hard to say no, right? KSHB 41 reporter Todd Palmer shares their voices and their skills tonight.
A new world of possibilities opened up for the Girl Scouts who took part in the MCC Power Up Trade Skills Camp this week across Kansas City.
Here you go. Zion Porter is no stranger to DIY projects around the house with her dad.
Even when we were younger, he'd take me to Home Depot, and they'd have like the little Saturdays where you could go in and build stuff with your parents. So I mean, I've been building stuff ever since I was little.
But the MCC camp allowed her to see trade skills in a new light.
I feel like it was just the fact that I was around other females, and then also just like the bonding of it as well. It showed me what I can do more with myself as well and what I'm capable of, and that made me really happy.
That's so cool. I was too nervous, and last year's excuse becomes this year's conquest. And guys, that's growth, that's courage, and that's American. Zion Porter speaks wisdom. I've been building since I was a little. Home Depot Saturdays with Dad. Now she builds futures. From working class to the workshop floor. The pipeline of prosperity. Check this out.
Porter attended her first trades camp last summer. It inspired her to take a woodworking class at Raytown High last year.
I went into this not knowing that I was gonna like it as much as I did, and I actually fell in love with it. That did not come out as bad as I thought it would.
She returned this summer brimming with confidence.
Oh, so much more confident.
Growing confidence was a theme among returning campers, including Callie Smalley.
I did it. The flower was pretty easy. I just didn't do it last year because I was too nervous to do it to see if I would get burnt or not.
There you go.
Like Zion did it, so like I knew how it goes now. So now I know that I'm not going to be afraid of something that doesn't really hurt you. That looks good.
It's perfect.
In Kansas City, Todd Palmer. KSHB 41 News.
Welding is not easy. I've tried it and I'm terrible at it. And she got perfect flowers from welding torches. And that's beauty from brutality, creation from chaos. These girls don't need safe spaces. They create dangerous spaces where excellence lives. And here's the revolution they fear. No more debt slavery, no Marxist indoctrination, no victim mentality, just skills, just pride, and just Americans doing what Americans do, building greatness with their bare hands. And the expansion of Pell Grants to trade schools isn't policy, it's prophecy. The awakening of a sleeping giant. Millions of young Americans rejecting the college con for construction sites. And think about it. Gender studies degree, $200,000 in debt, zero job prospects, and infinite bitterness. With a welding certification, that's zero debt, instant employment, and infinite possibilities. The choice is binary, victory or victimhood. And the elite panic because they know what's coming. A generation that doesn't need their approval. Workers who can't be controlled. Citizens who build their own futures instead of begging for handouts. This is the counter-revolution. Not with rifles, but with riveters. Not with manifestos, but with multimeters. Not with protest, but with production. So if you guys got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is coming up. So, this is bigger than job training. This is the resurrection of American masculinity and the rise of capable women who don't need feminism. They need flame torches. While colleges produce casualties, trade schools forge warriors. While universities teach victimhood, workshops teach victory. Every spark from a welder's torch illuminates the lie they sold you. College isn't the path, it's the trap. The real American dream lives in calloused hands and sweat-stained shirts. It breathes in machine shops and construction sites where pronouns don't matter, but production, it does. The establishment trembles because they can't control people who control their own destiny. You can't indoctrinate someone who's building their future with their bare hands. You can't enslave somebody who creates their own paycheck. So here's my question. Should we redirect all federal education funding from woke universities to trade schools? Yes or no? Light up those comments, guys. Let us know on that, please. Grab your American Badass gear from our shop and show them you build, not beg. Again, Tom McCullagh reporting. God bless. All right, guys, that was fun. So we got a couple super chats in here. We got Curio with our second dad joke of the night. I love the dad jokes. I'm going to make sure my kids are reading that. And Curio said, come on now, pop up. Can't see. It said, what did one toilet say to another toilet? You look flushed. Dad jokes. Which side of a duck has the most feathers? The outside. I love these. These are great, guys. Awesome. And then we got another one from Tom B 420. It says, doing great, Tom. Thanks. N3 for life. Same thing. I've been friends with Gary for years, and I absolutely love him to death as a person. And I've said this a few times on camera when I was covering the White House. Wonderful guy. I love being around, and I love the Next News family. You guys are just all incredible. But I will say some of the comments I saw, like I was reading during some of the videos, are saying, put glasses on me, and I'm pretty much Gary. I feel bad for Gary if he looks as ugly as I do. So we love Gary. All right, we're going to get to that trivia answer here. You guys ready? All right, the answer was A, Teddy Roosevelt. Looks like the chat got it right. All right, so Teddy Roosevelt championed industrial education, believed manual training built character and national strength. He loved today's welders, and he was one of the toughest dudes to ever walk the face of the earth. I mean, if you guys get time later, look up any video on Teddy Roosevelt. He's incredible. And I think we're going to pop over to topic 4, which is the nuclear moon race. Your tax dollars glow trivia questions coming up. All right, so what 1960s space achievement proved America could do the impossible? Was it A, the moon landing, Apollo 11, the B, the moon pie recipe patent, it's a pretty good one, or C, mooning the Soviet mission, or D, the moonwalk dance invention? You guys let us know your answers in the comments below, and we'll check and see if you guys are right at the end. All right, so America just announced the unthinkable. My name's Tom McCullagh, here once more, manning the desk as Gary speeds toward Texas for a historic celebration that we will be broadcasting live. And what you guys are about to hear sounds like science fiction, but it's happening right now. That's Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, now leading NASA, just unveiled plans that would make Kennedy's moon shoot look modest. Nuclear reactors on the lunar surface by 2030. While China and Russia plot their own atomic moon bases, America races to plant our flag and our reactor first. America. Is this the next giant leap for mankind or a desperate gamble in the new space race? The implications stretch from here to the stars, and the documents are classified. The stakes are astronomical, guys. Keep watching. So just as America plans to power lunar missions with nuclear energy, your body needs power to maintain youth and vitality. That power comes from collagen, the protein that literally holds you together. And by your 40s, production drops dramatically, leaving visible evidence. And that's wrinkles, sagging, signs of decline. But like splitting atoms for energy, we've split the code on collagen restoration. Ageless multi-collagen harnesses 5 types from our source, creating hydrolyzed peptides your body absorbs like rocket fuel. No clumping, no taste, just transformation. I've witnessed the results firsthand. It's like mission control for your skin. Plus, every order feeds hungry children through NoKidHungry.org. Launch your restoration at healthwithgary.com. 51% off, free shipping, and a 60-day guarantee. So again, visit healthwithgary.com today. All right, guys, listen closely. History turns on moments like this, when power meets purpose, when nations plant flags, not on Earth, but amongst the stars. Sean Duffy just lit the fuse on America's nuclear moon mission. So check out this explanation of why we need to build reactors where no man has built before. Check this out.
We have some news right now. The United States will be building the first ever nuclear reactor on the moon. That is the first act by Acting Secretary of NASA and the acting administrator of NASA, Sean Duffy, who's also the Secretary of Transportation. According to Politico, this appears to be his first major action leading NASA. He wouldn't set a definitive timeline for when this reactor would be built, but they are going to be building this nuclear reactor on the surface of the moon. It's also unclear how they're going to do it, given the fact that the agency is facing major budget cuts as we speak. He also is going to issue a directive to quickly replace the International Space Station, which is another goal of NASA's. They want to accelerate this to help the United States get both to the moon and then hopefully to Mars eventually. It is interesting, though, that we are now planning on building a nuclear reactor on the moon while also cutting Medicaid and SNAP here at home. So spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
All right, guys, a nuclear reactor on the moon? Let that sink in. Not solar panels, if they would even work, not batteries, atomic power where the sun doesn't shine for 14 days straight. But here's what they buried in the announcement. No budget, no timeline details, just Trump urgency. Why now? Why the rush? This report from international media reveals the real stakes. Whoever plants a reactor first claims the lunar territory. Watch this part closely. Check this out.
The US has unveiled plans to build a nuclear reactor on the moon as it seeks to get ahead of China and Russia in the new age space race. The aim is to mark American territory on the lunar surface by creating a power hub that would supply energy for future missions. NASA Chief Sean Duffy is set to announce plans to build a nuclear reactor by 2030. It comes just weeks after Russia inked a deal with China to build a nuclear power station on the moon as part of their shared lunar space base. A directive from NASA says that an American nuclear reactor on the moon will establish US keep-out zones on the lunar surface. This is to further stop rivals like Moscow and Beijing from effectively colonizing the moon. The reactor is expected to generate light and power during the lunar nights when solar panels are ineffective because there is no sunshine on the surface. And it could also help light up the permanently shadowed parts of the moon to make further space explorations. Inside a nuclear reactor, atoms of certain elements like uranium-235 are split when struck by neutrons. This splitting releases energy in form of heat and additional neutrons. The released neutrons can then strike again other atoms, continuing the chain reaction. Mr. Duffy has now directed NASA to seek industry proposals for a minimum 100 kilowatt reactor to launch by 2030.
All right, guys, so keep out zones. And that is the phrase that changes everything. First reactor wins. First nation claims. Like conquistadors with atomic hearts, we race to carve up the moon. News Nation digs a little deeper into what's really driving the space race, and that's China's timeline, Russia's ambitions, and America's response. This isn't exploration, it's competition at the highest level. So pay attention to what's at stake and check this out.
The space race is going nuclear. Interim NASA Administrator and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy expected to announce a fast-track plan to deploy a nuclear reactor to the moon by 2030. That's 5 years before China plan to do the very same thing. Mills Hayes is here with those details. Okay, Mills, give us the latest and also what's at stake with being the first.
Good morning, Marky. Details still very limited right now. Politico reporting that this is something that's been discussed before, but this new directive would set a firm timeline for the first time. The United States is one step closer to extended stays on the moon and to space exploration even beyond. Politico is reporting that Secretary Sean Duffy is going to announce plans to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. NASA had been working towards having a 40 kilowatt reactor on the moon, but Duffy's plan is reportedly to get proposals for a 100 kilowatt reactor to launch by 2030.
Well, having nuclear power in space is really important for any human exploration beyond low Earth orbit because the moon has 2 weeks of day, but then it has 2 weeks of night. So you can't have solar power on the moon unless you have some really huge batteries, right? Because you need a battery at nighttime like we have on the space station.
It's been over 50 years since an American set foot on the moon, and this project would allow for more people to stay on the moon longer. A power source on the moon not only gives the U.S. a lunar foothold, it becomes a testing ground for exploration further than the moon. Duffy's timeline is years ahead of a reported Chinese and Russian mission to also build a nuclear plant on the moon.
China would love nothing more than to beat us. If they can beat us to the moon, that sends a very powerful visceral signal to all of humanity that China's ahead of America. So they want to beat us to the moon. And if they win this next space race, then a lot of people are going to think, well, maybe that authoritarian system isn't so bad. So it's important that America not fall behind this race because the things we do on the moon are going to dramatically impact the things that happen here on Earth to the 8 billion of us that are down here on the planet.
The announcement comes amid NASA's downsizing. About 20% of NASA's employees opted to leave the agency as part of DOGE's Referred Resignation and Voluntary Departure program. Reportedly, the announcement will require NASA to appoint someone to lead the project and give those companies that are interested 60 days to submit their proposal.
So all of this is going on while 20% of NASA just walked out the door through DOGE cuts. Yet we're launching the most ambitious project since what, the Apollo? And that's irony or opportunity. Lean teams move fast. Bloat kills dreams. Pretty straightforward, guys. Think about the physics. Lunar night lasts 336 hours of no sunlight. Temperatures drop to negative 280 degrees Fahrenheit. Solar panels become sculptures. Batteries, they die. But nuclear? Nuclear never sleeps. Nuclear powers through the darkness, and nuclear enables permanent presence. The Secretary of Energy understands what's possible when America commits. So watch him channel the spirit that gave us 130 reactors in 25 years. That same spirit now reaches for the stars, guys. Check this out.
So as you look at the challenges ahead, nuclear and getting that online is going to be something that you're really focused on.
It is. Like the nuclear industry took off after World War II. In the first 25 years, we licensed and put under construction 130 nuclear reactors at over 80 power plants. Then we created the NRC, or really we split the Atomic Energy Commission into the NRC to regulate nuclear power and the Department of Energy to promote and advance the technology. And what's happened since then is we've licensed and built 2 new reactors in 45 years after over 100 in 25 years. So clearly something's got to change there.
So you're optimistic. I mean, you seem like an optimistic guy, but you're optimistic sitting in this seat.
This is America. We put people on the moon. Can we build nuclear reactors again? Absolutely. Is it going to be a challenge? Do a lot of things have to change to get this ball rolling again? Yes. But can we do it? Yes, we can, and yes, we will.
Mr. Secretary, we appreciate the time. We're going to tour around your great department here a little bit later. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate everyone's interest in energy.
So we put people on the moon. Can we build nuclear reactors again? Absolutely. Truth spoken plainly. No bureaucratic hedging, just American confidence. And here's what connects. Earth reactors stalled for 45 years under red tape. Moon reactors? No Environmental Protection Agency up there, guys. No local permits, no NIMBY protests. I'd love to see him try, though. Just pure engineering unleashed. And Sean Duffy's directive demands 100 kilowatts by 2030. Previous plans called for 40. He's not just accelerating, he's amplifying. More power means more possibilities. Mining operations, manufacturing, maybe even cities under domes powered by atoms. I would love to see that before I go. Let's check this out.
The potential of a clean, long-term power source on the moon. Reliably, flexibly, and sustainably supporting a range of operational demands. Providing power and heat output as required. Powering new journeys, new connections, new understandings, new discovery. Rolls-Royce Micro Reactor. The power to explore.
So Rolls-Royce already unveiled their design. It's clean power, flexible output, and modular construction. The private sector races ahead while government catches up. That's the American way. Business leads and bureaucracy, they follow. But let's ask hard questions. Medicaid faces cuts, SNAP shrinks, infrastructure crumbles, yet we fund moon reactors? Some see contradiction, others see strategy, because whoever controls space controls Earth's future. And China, they know this the best. Their moon landing planned for 2030, same years as our reactor? Is that a coincidence, guys? No way. They want to beat us there, plant their flag, claim their zones, and write the rules for lunar war. Russia partners with them, 2 authoritarian powers plotting space dominance while we debate. That's why Duffy acts now. That's why Trump is pushing hard. Delay means defeat. Second place means servitude. Think bigger, guys. Moon reactors enable Mars missions. Mars missions secure the solar system. The high ground isn't a mountain anymore. It's literally infinity itself. Nations that master space, they master everything. The technology exists. We split atoms 80 years ago. We walked on the moon 55 years back. Combining both? That's not impossible. That's inevitable. The only question, whose flag flies besides that reactor? Critics worry about weaponization, and that's a valid concern. But nuclear power isn't nuclear weapon. One builds, one destroys. One lights up the darkness, one brings darkness. We chose creation over destruction. Environmentalists might scream about contaminating pristine lunar landscape, but there's no life to harm, no ecosystem to damage that we know of, just dead rock waiting for human purpose. The moon doesn't need protection, it needs power. So this mission transcends politics. Democrats, Republicans, irrelevant labels when species survival is on the table. Because that's what space represents. Backup for humanity. Insurance against extinction. Eggs in literal cosmic baskets. So if you guys got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So, this decision defines our generation. Will America lead humanity to the stars or watch from Earth as others claim the cosmos? The moon reactor isn't just technology, it's testament. Proof we still possess the spirit that conquered frontiers, split atoms, and touched heaven itself. Yes, people struggle here on Earth. Yes, budgets are tight. But civilizations that stop reaching upward start dying downward. The same nuclear technology powering lunar bases could revolutionize Earth's energy. The mining technology for lunar resources could feed Earth's industries. Investment above pays dividends below. And history judges harshly those who choose comfort over conquest, safety over stars. Our ancestors crossed oceans on wooden ships, and we're going to cross space on nuclear power. That's evolution, and that's destiny. So here's the question. Should America prioritize a nuclear moon base even during budget cuts or focus solely on Earth's problems? Yes or no? Mission Control needs your input, guys. So support explorers, not explainers. Next News merch is in the description, guys. Check it out. This is Tom McCullagh. Over and out, guys. God bless. All right. So, how do we lose the technology to go to the moon over 50 years? I don't know. So let's check on these super chats, guys. Let's see what we got. Nothing new, guys. You guys are slacking on the super chats today. Still love seeing everybody in there, though. So you guys ready for the trivia answer here? Let's see what we got. Did the chat get it right? They did. The answer is a moon landing. Apollo 11 Neil Armstrong's giant leap in 1969 proved America could achieve the impossible when united in purpose. Good job, guys, on that one. So, we're going to get on topic 5, which is Communist leads New York City polls, and America gasps. It's going to be a fun one, guys. What's going on in New York is absolutely insane, and I don't even know how to process most of what's happening and what's coming out of there. It's pretty crazy. All right, so, guys, the trivia question is, which 1917 revolution turned Russia from empire to communist nightmare? Was it A, the October Revolution, B, the September yard sale? Was it C, November Netflix launch? Could be that. Or D, December decorating spree? Put your answers in the comments below, guys, and we'll check on that as soon as we're done here. All right, this will be a fun one. So the asylum doors just flew open and the patients are taking over. My name's Tom McCullagh. I'm here, your last line of defense, while Gary prepares to stream Ron Paul's Freedom Fest this Saturday. And guys, I've covered crazy stories, but this one takes the literal cake and redistributes it equally to everybody. A literal socialist who majored in African studies and never held a real job is crushing it in New York City mayoral polls. 81% odds on Polymarket. That's not a prediction. That's a communist fever dream coming true. Meanwhile, Bill Nye went full fascist on MSNBC, Dave Portnoy created the ultimate torture device, and Tim Scott got ambushed by cackling harpies on daytime TV. The left isn't just losing it, they've already lost it. Just go ahead and keep watching, guys. All right, so if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing. You're losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. That's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. And one company that makes it easy, that's Noble Gold Investments. You can buy gold or silver, coins or bars, and have them shipped to your home or stored securely. It's a smart way to convert cash into something that actually holds value. Noble Gold is fair, they're transparent, and they don't pressure you. Just solid information and real options. So visit nextnewsgold.com. Go today. So nextnewsgold.com. When you own real assets, you have real wealth. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions, guys. So, Wall Street just exposed the socialist time bomb ticking in New York City. We're going to watch this brilliant breakdown of Zohan Mamdani. Yes, that's his real name. Represents millions of debt-crushed zombies voting for their own doom. This is what the end of capitalism looks like, guys. Check this out.
Kamala Harris is going to look like a conservative candidate pretty soon. A lot of people don't quite recognize and see how important the debt and the deficit is with respect to how it's ultimately going to lead to socialism, as it has every single time in history when you've had a free voting democracy. People call it left, but it's actually quite different than just being more traditionally left. It's really a revolution against the system that brought them to this moment. Because the promise that we gave in America, the American dream, was if you will go to college, you will graduate, you will have income, you will have stability, you will be able to buy a home. And what we did is we increased the government's role in making that dream possible. And in doing so, we created effectively a system where we gave unrestricted access to capital, which inflated the cost of education. People could go to school like Zoran and major in African studies and graduate with $200,000, $300,000 of debt and then never get a job. The guy has not had a real job. And this is the truth for 32 million young Americans. They find themselves living in places where they cannot afford to pay their bills every month, and they will never get out of the debt cycle that they were thrust into and believe that they were going to be able to graduate from and excel in the world and increase. They all have what is called negative capital. They have debt and they will never be able to get out of that cycle. So where do you turn in that moment? You don't go turn to corporations to solve your problems. You don't go turn to your friends and your siblings and your family. They're not going to bail you out. You turn to the voting booth.
That's 32 million young Americans drowning in debt, and their solution, it's vote for the guy who thinks breadlines are buffets, African studies degree, zero work history, maximum communism. That is your next New York City mayor, guys. Yeah. But wait, it gets better. Dave Portnoy invented a punishment worse than death itself. Fantasy football losers could now endure Kamala Harris's literary masterpiece. Watch Portnoy explain this Geneva Convention violation to a horrified morning show host. Check this out.
Your fantasy football league, you got an interesting punishment for losing. Watch this.
If you finish in last place in your fantasy football league this year, you will be locked in a room with no phone until you finish reading every single page of Kamala Harris's new book. And when you finish all 500 pages, you will be required to give the entire league a presentation. And if that presentation does not pass ChatGPT standards, you will then be required to listen to the audiobook for 24 hours straight.
You're the guy who, you'd make that happen, wouldn't you? You'd actually do that. But that, that's cruel and unusual punishment. You know that.
Some people say there's no punishment worse than death. I think this one is. Yeah, this is a bad punishment.
Where did you come up with it from? You hate the book that
It wasn't
much?
my idea. I can't steal that idea.
Oh, I would. There's no way I would do that. 500 pages of word salad, and if you fail the ChatGPT test, 24 hours of audiobook torture. Waterboarding is more humane. Even Portnoy admits that this crosses the line. So Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas herself, just endorsed Comrade Zoran's communist agenda as the Democrat message. And they're not hiding it anymore. Watch her praise his Soviet-style grocery experiments like they're not the reason people ate their pets in Venezuela. Check this out.
When someone stands up and says, I will lead this city by making it more affordable, and here are my plans, real plans, plans to deliver on childcare, plans to deliver on housing, plans to deliver, we're going to experiment, we're going to try things on groceries. That is the Democratic message.
These guys are nuts. We're going to experiment on groceries. You know who else experimented? Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot. Their experiments ended with millions dead and everyone else eating grass. But sure, Liz, let's try that again. And speaking of unhinged, Bill Nye, the fascist guy, just went full authoritarian on MSNBC. This is the same guy who taught kids about science, now wants to ban half the country from voting. Because science, apparently. Let's check this embarrassing meltdown. Check this out.
And look, you guys, everybody, I used to work in the oil industry. People forget I used to work in the oil patch in West Texas. And we just can't do it anymore. I mean, okay, so the sooner we stop doing it, the better. And of course, for us in the United States, right now we're having this very strong heat dome. It's very hot weather, which is going to affect agriculture, which will affect everybody's prices, the price of your food in the grocery store. And what we don't want is to have it be so far along, it's very, very difficult to reverse. So everybody pay attention and vote. And I'll just say that this idea that whatever the oil and gas industry tells people in the administration is true is probably wrong. And so just don't vote for them anymore. And when you get a chance, let's get them out of office.
He's starting to look like death himself. He's like Bill Clinton's crazy cousin. And he said, just don't vote for them anymore. Get them out of office. The science guy wants a one-party state. Remember when he taught photosynthesis instead of fascism? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Tim Scott decided to enter the lion's den, or should I say the Coven's cauldron, on The View. These shrieking banshees couldn't handle one black man speaking truth about American progress, and watch them lose their minds when confronted with facts. Go ahead and check this out.
You were the first black senator elected in the South since the Reconstruction. That would be about 114 years. Yet you say that your life disproves leftist lies. And yes. My question to you is, I'm the exception, right? You're the exception. Maybe even Miss Whoopi Goldberg is the exception.
Oh, she's definitely the exception.
But we are not the rule.
No, and one of the reasons why I'm on the show is because of the comments that were made, frankly, on this show, that the only way for a young African-American kid to be successful in this country is to be the exception and not the rule. That is a dangerous, offensive, disgusting message to send to our young people today, that the only way to succeed is by being the exception. I will tell you that if my life is the exception, I can't imagine.
But it is.
But it's not, actually. It's
been 114 years.
Yeah, so the fact of the matter is we've had an African-American president, African-American vice president. We've had 2 African-Americans to be secretaries of the state. In my home city, the police chief is an African-American who's now running for mayor. The head of the highway patrol for South Carolina is an African-American.
Still
in
exceptions.
In 1975, there was about 15% employment in the African-American community for the first time in the history of the country. It's under 5%.
40% homelessness.
And 50% of the folks in our community
get 13% of the population.
You had a chance to ask the question. I know that I've watched you on the show that you like people to be deferential and respectful, so I'm going to do the same thing.
That is true.
Don't forget, the Republican Party had the first African-American senators in it, and that was over 100 years ago. And they're telling him that he's the exception. They scream at the successful black senator, because to liberals, black success is impossible without their permission. And Tim Scott breaks their narrative, so they broke down. You saw them losing their minds. But Scott doesn't stop. He drops truth bombs about black unemployment, home ownership, and education. And these harpies, they can't compute it. Their brains are just blowing up. The programming says America is racist, but the evidence, it says otherwise. System error, and they're like short-circuiting, guys. Check this out.
So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest the fact of the matter is that progress in America is palpable. It can be measured in generations. I look back at the fact that my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, when he was on a sidewalk, a white person was coming, he had to step off and not make eye contact. That man believed then, with some doubt now, in the goodness of America, because he believed that having faith in God, faith in himself, and faith in what the future could hold for his kids would unleash opportunities in ways that you cannot imagine. Every kid today can look, just change the stations and see how much progress has been made in this country. ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, CNN, Fox News all have African-American and Hispanic hosts. So what I'm suggesting is that the yesterday's exception is today's rule. And for us to
so
suggest—
America has met its promise.
No, of course, the concept of America is that we are going to become a more perfect union. That in fact, the challenges that we face 50 years ago and 60 years ago should not be the same challenges that we face today. And here's the way that you measure that. When my mother was born, about 10% of African Americans got a high school degree, diploma. Today, it's over 90%. When you look at the income success that we've had—
That's an HBCU stat.
Well, listen, HBCU stat is a good one, because one of the reasons why I took the funding for HBCUs to the highest level in the history of the country, and then I helped make it permanent, is because I believe that education is the closest thing to magic in America. So I'm about making sure that our kids have as many opportunities to succeed as possible. It's one of the reasons why
I need an opportunity to succeed because I have to.
He's awesome. And you guys want to see the left's vision for America? Anti-ICE protesters laugh in a working mother's face as she begs to get her job. This is their utopia. You suffer while they virtue signal. And this is just pure evil caught on camera, guys. Look at this.
But for now, turning to this, we're getting brand new video out of New York City. Watch this. 2 anti-ICE protesters laugh in a woman's face. All this woman is trying to do is get to work, but they're blocking the road and she can't get there. A window into the protests you've been seeing in a broad cam. Let's take you in on it.
But I have a kid. If I don't, and these people are having their children taken and their parents. What about my kids?
Look at this.
That's what happens to my kids. I can't help you. But you can if you could just move off the way.
You're not going to.
How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not.
How do you as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Harris, this woman is trying to get to work. She's a U.S. citizen, a hardworking mom. She talks about her child. She says, what about my child?
You guys see the look on that dude's face? Oh no, work. Like those guys, that woman has a child to feed. Those protesters have trust fund to spend. She works, they whine. She builds, they block. And that's the Democrat Party in 2025, guys. And the coup de grace? Jesse Waters absolutely destroying the founder of White Dudes for Harris. You know, that soy-soaked specimen tries to spin Trump's landslide as close. Jesse doesn't just fact-check him. He performs a public execution. It's brutal and beautiful, guys. Check this out.
Are you still sticking with Harris?
Listen, I prefer that Kamala Harris for president right now, and honestly, I think a lot of Americans agree with me. Fox News' own polling has Donald Trump's approval rating cratering. He's negative 30% on the inflation. I think people are awfully frustrated with the leadership they're getting right now. Doesn't mean they like Democrats, but they're not happy with what they're getting.
Okay, so he just started off. You got to give the guy a shot. But you guys were so bad, he won in a landslide. Is anyone in the Democratic Party thinking maybe we could do things differently?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing the work of talking about how we build a new Democratic Party. Let's keep in mind Donald Trump didn't win in a landslide. He won by 185,000 votes in 3 swing states.
Well, he won every battleground. Are you saying that it was close? Are you saying it was close?
He won every battleground state, but the race itself was close. I think it would be a mistake for Republicans to assume that they have a landslide. Take a look at your own polling if you don't believe me.
Or do you think it would be a mistake for Democrats to think that it was close?
Well, I think Democrats should take a sobering look at what happened in the last election. We lost to Donald Trump again, which is embarrassing because I don't think he's qualified for the job, and I don't think he's doing a good job either. We've got to do a better job of winning people back, giving them a reason to care about us, giving them a reason to believe that we're going to fight for them, help lower grocery prices, help them buy a house and retire with dignity. We didn't do that. I think we got to be sobered about that. But you guys are running around acting like you wanted a landslide that you didn't when Donald Trump is unpopular and we're facing the worst job market we've seen since the last time.
No, I mean, a landslide is like Nixon. It's like Reagan. We've won bigger landslides. I would agree.
Barack Obama in 2008,
I would absolutely agree. Well, Reagan and Nixon had better numbers than Barack, but we don't want to talk about the Messiah. I know Michelle's already talked badly enough about him. Like,
oh boy. You guys were so bad, Trump won in a landslide. Jesse does not pull punches, and White Dudes for Harris guy admits they got destroyed, then pretends like it was competitive. Like losing every battleground state is a tie. That guy, he's going to have a sore shoulder from reaching that far to get some BS out there. So here's the pattern. Debt-crushed kids vote socialist. Woke celebrities demand fascism. Media celebrates communism. Working people get mocked. Success gets demonized. Failure gets subsidized. Up is down. Wrong is right. Men are women. Words are violence. Silence is violence. Everything is violence except actual violence, and that's mostly peaceful violence, only when Democrats do it. And this isn't politics anymore. It's mass psychosis. An entire generation raised on participation trophies and student loans now demand the government be their daddy. Zoran promises free everything. They believe him. History laughs and Venezuela weeps. The numbers don't lie. 81% chance New York City elects a communist, not a socialist, not a progressive, a literal communist. While China builds capitalism with communist characteristics, we're building communism with capitalist credit cards. So if you guys got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is coming up here. So this is what collapse looks like. It's not with jackboots and breadlines yet, but with sociology degrees and soy lattes, they vote for slavery because freedom requires effort. They choose chains because choices demand responsibility. They elect communists because capitalism expects competence. Zoran Mamdani leading New York City polls isn't an anomaly, it's an avalanche. Every blue city follows his path. Promise everything, deliver nothing, blame capitalism, repeat until Venezuela. San Francisco, Chicago, Portland, now New York. The dominoes fall while Democrats are applauding. But here's a beautiful irony, guys. These communists need capitalism to fund their fantasies. They're parasites who kill the host. When New York City falls, where will they run? Florida? Texas? Then vote the same way and wonder why paradise becomes a parking lot again. So it's question time. Is America witnessing the birth of a new communist revolution in our major cities? Yes or no? Sound the alarm in the comments, guys. Let us know what you think. But also, rock your anti-communist gear from our shop, because better dead than red never goes out of style. Again, guys, this is Tom McCullagh. We're all fighting the good fight. God bless. Awesome. So yeah, so that was kind of fun, guys. It's crazy seeing the way that the world's going. And we got a super chat coming in here. It's from literally my best friend in the whole world. It's Redneck Newsin. Maybe one day we'll put up some pictures of me and him fishing together. He says, "You're killing it, brother." Thank you, man. I love you too, buddy. So, did the chat get the trivia answer right, guys? Let's see. Here we go. Yes, you guys did get it done again. So, the correct answer was A, October Revolution. The Bolsheviks seized power in 1917, launching 70 years of communist hell. New York City Democrats apparently want a sequel. It's such a incredibly crazy thing that's happening in New York, guys. It's like everybody forgets what's happened over the last couple hundred years, and it's just so sad. And it's been a fun show tonight, guys. We're going to get into it here now. Well, let's see here. Oh, we got another one. We got a super chat from Tom B 420. Love you, buddy. And he got a thumbs up in the American flags. As you guys can see, join or die, some Ben Franklin stuff going on. We're all patriots here. And it's fun covering the White House and working with Gary and literally trying to bring the truth to that swamp of D.C. All right. So we're going to close it out, guys. So it's Tom McCullagh here with your raw feed recap. And guys, if today's show didn't wake you up, literally check your pulse. We started with Big Balls, a young hero who lived up to his name by charging into danger to save a woman from savage attackers. His blood on D.C. streets just triggered something massive. Trump's threatening federal takeover. Elon is demanding action. The swamp creatures are scrambling because they know their sanctuary city is about to become Trump country. When DOGE employees get beaten for being heroes, the gloves come off. Then Tulsi Gabbard dropped the mother of all truth bombs. Literally, it's incredible seeing this happen. And Obama didn't just know about the Russia hoax, he ordered it. December 9th, 2016, a date that will live in infamy. Oval Office direct command to frame Trump. Every single attack, every impeachment, every indictment traces back to that moment. They surveilled Tulsi, harassed her at airports, hacked her accounts, all for exposing their lies. The deep state isn't a theory anymore. It's a documented conspiracy. But while they plot in the shadows, America builds in sunlight. Trade schools are exploding with applications, and that's kids who've wasted 4 years on gender studies are picking up welding torches instead. 8 weeks to certification, 0 debt, $30 an hour to start. The blue-collar boom isn't coming. It's here, guys, and it is beautiful. As Trump would say, it's beautiful. Speaking of building, we're apparently constructing nuclear reactors on the moon now. Sean Duffy says 2030 or bust. China and Russia race to plant their atomic flags, but America will get there first. Some call it wasteful. I call it insurance, because whoever controls the high ground controls everything. And space, it's the ultimate high ground. And meanwhile, back on Earth, the asylum inmates graduated to running for office. Zoran Mandami, a communist never worked a day, owes his life to student loans. Leads New York City mayoral polls at 81%. And the looking pretty close to death Bill Nye wants to ban Republicans. Dave Portnoy turned Kamala's book into torture. Tim Scott got ambushed by the View's coven. And working mothers can't get to their jobs because trust fund protesters need attention. Shocking. This is the fork in the road, guys. One path leads to big balls and blowtorches, moon bases and manufacturing, truth and triumph. The other leads to breadlines and bike locks, communism and cowardice, Zoran and zombies. Think about that. You sent in those super chats and rumbled rants all show long. Thank you for funding the fight. Your voices were heard, your messages were shared, and your support is appreciated. This is how we win, guys. Together, we're united and we're unstoppable. So tell a friend about today's show. Text them the link, post it on social media, grab that Next News Network gear from our shop, and wear your allegiance proudly. Every shirt sold, every hat worn, every sticker slapped on a truck bumper is another beacon of resistance. And so, guys, this has been the Raw Feed. Gary's back soon with Ron Paul's birthday special on Saturday. And until then, I'm Tom McCullagh reminding you that they're not after me. They're after you guys. And we are all just in the way. So stay strong, stay free, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next show. God bless.